The Lakers dropped a frustrating game last night to the Orlando Magic, losing 118-106. Dropping, just a really frustrating third quarter for the Lakers last night, where they just got dominated and blitzed, honestly, by the Orlando Magic. I'm Sean Davis. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button as hard as you possibly can and subscribe here to the channel. What stuff is it, time to be concerned about? Is it time to panic? What stuff is even, time to be a little bit more calm about at this point? We're going to talk about that. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Is it time to panic about this Lakers team? But let's first start off with the game. So Lakers lose, like I said last night, 118-106. The third quarter was kind of the downfall of the Lakers. And the Lakers are slipping a little bit. But this is immediately where I'm going to come in and kind of ease, the minds, I think, of some Laker fans. I think some Laker fans right now are kind of taking this to the extreme and talking about how, oh my God, we're going to slide into the play-in. And granted, you're only up on the 7-seeded Clippers by 3 games, right? But while that's the case, I still don't really see them sliding all the way to the play-in, honestly. Because just as likely, in air quotes, it is that they slide to the play-in, it's equally, if not even more likely, that they get the 3 seed. They're only a game out of the 3 seed. And what I don't want to happen is, and I think you're already seeing it from some of the media, is a victory lap from the media about the Lakers. I just went to ESPN right now to find something, and literally the first tagline or whatever, where you go to the Lakers page on ESPN, is a segment from Get Up, and it says, "Is it too early to claim the Lakers won a Luka AD trade?" Come on, guys. So I don't want us to act super brash. I don't even know the word I'm looking for. I don't want us to just panic and overreact to, a 3-game losing streak where, yes, the last 2 games kind of looked bad, but you just came off a 3-game win streak, and one of the losses on this current 3-game losing streak is against the Bucks, where nobody on your roster played. So that's kind of where I'm going to start right there. I don't think it's appropriate to full wide panic and just say that this team is, not making the playoffs all of a sudden anymore because of a bad stretch. I think the timing of the bad stretch is really, really unfortunate. # March Hoops. But I do think that's part of it legitimately, is that it's March Hoops. Even Luka said after the game that, he thinks that, some of the guys kind of just got comfortable and kind of complacent, even to a certain extent. Luka Doncic officially says after the game that he feels the Lakers got satisfied and they can't afford that right now. He wants them to get back to playing the physical defense they're playing during the 8-game win streak. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. With the defense, I think that the defense is heavily predicated on 2 things. I think it's heavily predicated on, one, the style of defense that the Lakers play. It needs maximum effort, because if you're not giving maximum effort, they gave up a lot of threes anyway. By design, sure, but they gave up a lot of threes anyway. So now you're giving up even more open threes, because now it's just not even a design, it's lack of effort. So I think it's predicated on that. And then this is something I would be a little bit more concerned about. This is actually my biggest concern, outside the fact that the Lakers for some reason can't solve switching, team switching defensively against them. It completely shuts down their offense. And God forbid you have a little bit of athleticism to, pair with that. That reason alone makes me really nervous about an OKC series if they can't figure that out, because OKC is just going to switch everything. Boston's just going to switch everything. Houston concerns me for your offense, but Houston's offense is not nearly as OKC's playoff offense isn't going to be the best, but they have Shea. Houston has nobody on that level that could just generate offense consistently, where Boston and OKC have that. So that would be something that concerns me. But the other thing that concerns me is this is not the first occasion this season now where we've seen a team just be able to overwhelm. Actually, ironically, Houston did this earlier in the year. Now, granted, that's when AD was still here, and I want to say we haven't played Houston since the Luka trade. As a matter of fact, you're going to play Houston twice for the season series over the last 12 or whatever games it is at this point, 11 games, excuse me. You're going to play Houston twice and OKC twice. Not saying you can't beat any of those teams in the series, by the way. Please don't, misconstrue my words, but those teams, for those reasons that I laid out kind of concerned me. If you get to a Houston, I think we've seen now, last night was a big indicator of this, of teams being able in certain matchups to just overwhelm the Lakers athletically. Like Houston did this a few months back or earlier in the season, like I mentioned. Even though Lakers only lost, it wound up being a fairly close game. LA lost by 4 at the end of the day. Houston was able to just overwhelm the Lakers with athleticism on the glass and defensively, right? Orlando has, for all the deficiencies, they have 2 6'9" point forwards that can bully you with their athleticism and their downhill creation ability. And then they also have some really athletic guards, like Anthony Black was amazing. And I put a tweet out, about mid-third quarter. I was like, this is probably the most indecisive I've seen Austin Reeves be in a long time. I think one of Austin Reeves' best skill sets or best attributes, the traits, if you will, is his ability to just play with quick decisions and always be decisive. I thought he was super, super indecisive last night in the Magic game. And part of that's rust. Sure, part of that is rust. I do think there's a lot of adjustment and adjusting that comes with getting Braun back. I think it's also a lot of adjusting still that we still haven't. We hadn't really seen a lot of Braun, AR, Luka because they were all kind of like bouncing around of playing your turn, my turn with who's going to miss an extended period of time. I think so far we've seen it very clearly work with 2 of them together. And then it's kind of been like figuring out the third one so far, because I think right now what we've kind of seen from this Lakers offense with all 3 of them is that they are heavily reliant on them just making one of those 3 just creating and making tough shots. That's what the offense feels like. They'll attack a switch in air quotes, or they'll try to get a favorable matchup, and then it just devolves or dissolves into, my guy, shout out to my guy Raj, who, I'll just, read the tweet word for word. At Raj, Raj C on Twitter says, still some growing pains with Braun, Luka, and Austin on the offensive end, too reliant on contested shot making right now. And I 1000% agree. That is basically what the offense is right now. It is Austin, Luka, Braun, break down your matchup one-on-one. Let's have your turn, my turn. I don't have the tracking data of their organized offense in front of me, but I would imagine my guy Cran just speak basketball is pulling his hair out right now, or at this point, the little hair he may have left, about the lack of offensive organization that he's kind of seen with the team recently, because it does come off as that. It's a lot of your turn, my turn stuff. And I think they need to properly figure out, how we want to stagger these 3 and how we want to utilize these 3 all in a, single-handedly offensively, to where it's not your turn, my turn, where we can get some flow and some movement, some rhythm. Because at the very least, that's probably the one thing that like early season Lakers have over current version Lakers. I think current version Lakers, is probably more aligned with JJ's vision. Like, they're gonna shoot way more threes. You have your downhill creators in Luka, Braun, and Austin, but right now they just do not have any, honestly, rhyme or reason. I feel like offensively, it's like, hey Luka, hey Braun, here, go attack it to a sea of bodies and please make tough shots or whatever. It doesn't feel like there's consistently easy generated baskets for them, which is frustrating. So I'm not at panic, like full scale panic yet. I do think it's weird that Dalton Knecht, who I thought was kind of turning a corner to a certain extent over the past, 2 games now, has kind of been relegated back to the bench. Dalton Knecht had a 7-game stretch, literally the month of March. And again, hashtag March Hoops. Dalton Knecht has, in games where he played at least 10 minutes, Dalton Knecht has only been held under 10 points twice all month. He had 9 points and their loss to Boston on 4 for 6 shooting, and then he had 3 points on 1 for 5 shooting on the win against the Suns. He's started to turn the corner. He's had a really, really hot shooting month, shooting 43% from 3. on 6 attempts. Dalton Knecht feels like the perfect guy that will kind of align with what JJ's, overall offensive philosophy is. And to see him kind of get relegated to the bench these past 2 games, essentially, and only play garbage time minutes is a little frustrating, I will say. So I would like to see if Dalton is able to, I'm sorry, I would like to see if JJ can, tie some things up with the rotation and do some other stuff. Get the offense back organized. It's a little frustrating. JJ did say on Spectrum that the Lakers need to clean some things up with their execution and coverages. He added that the team is going through it a little bit right now, and the group needs to get back into a flow and a rhythm. Well, please, JJ, please get them organized offensively and get back into a flow and a rhythm. Dorian Finney-Smith also added that we got to put up a 48-minute per game effort together. That third quarter was tough. We let our offense mess with our defensive energy, and it was just tough to fight back. And then also one last thing on if the Lakers get back to what they were previously defensively, DFS says for sure we told ourselves we can do it. So it's up to us. We got to hold each other accountable and do it. So the Lakers certainly feel like they can. DFS and Luka Doncic both feel confident. The Lakers, it's not going to get easier in terms of offensive teams they got to face. They face the Indiana Pacers on Wednesday night. I have a preview for that pod. I'm sorry, I'll have a preview for that pod. Wow. I have a preview for that game coming out tomorrow morning. That'll be a fun matchup. The Pacers are playing at, a super, super high level right now. Tyrese Halliburton appears to be all the way back. So that'll be a challenge for the Lakers. But thank you guys so much for tuning in here to the channel. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe here to the channel so you never miss any content or coverage of your Los Angeles Lakers. As always, guys, go Lake Show. I'll catch you all in the next one. Stay safe. Peace out.